कुछ नहीं लिखा ओके ओके देखो एक मिनट अश्विन कितना है 20 बोलता है
उसने बोला मुझे मैंने कब बोला Now the break is over. You people want to move out? जा रहा था अभी बोलता है no.
What is this then?
Shut up. मैम बार-बार बैग गिरा रहा है.
मैं तो चुपचाप बैठा हूँ इसका बैग
वो चुपचाप बैठा है वो कुछ नहीं करता है अच्छा बच्चा okay. No, I think 1 hour he will be in the bus. The break got over and the teacher came.
मैम यहाँ लेके कौन सा क्या करता है
हाँ यहाँ
बाथरूम में यहाँ लेके क्या करता है
My childhood. So this chapter is about Cbse Abdul Kalam. This is from his autobiography. So APJ Abdul Kalam, whose projects in space, defense and nuclear नहीं आया तो है ना
नहीं वो बाहर कहाँ से रहा
That's
thank you नाचने की
तो shift to don't keep your sign hidden. Ma'am, last time this was about Newton, right? Newton.
Newton
आ गया
ऐसा यूनिट ऑफ फोर्स
Okay. So APJ Abdul Kalam, whose projects in space, defense and nuclear technology guided India to the 21st century, became our 11th president in 2002. In his autobiography, Wings of Fire, he speaks of his childhood. Last time I allowed shift. Shift. Huh? I'll keep your bag in the He has. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Anyway, the book is going to be like this. See, आगे में what is good. Ma'am, my books are in the when you have class, you get to know the books. The local will study. The local is closed. So before that, before they close, you should have taken the books with yourself. No, don't leave it over there. And will you so go I can't. When you know these, they'll say you don't allow us. Then how can you allow her? Cheating. Cheating. But no, then of course I have to be fair. Chalo. So I was born. पीछे क्या देख रहा है वो काफी है
अरे वही खुला हुआ है
अभी अरे ना
on the book like this. On the book like this, like ma'am, continue. मैं तो वैसे भी बुक देखने वाला नहीं हूँ। आप थोड़ा चालू करोगे मैं वापस सो जाऊंगा मैम।
No, ma'am.
Okay. Shuru. I was born to a middle class Tamil family in the island town of Rameshwaram in erstwhile Madras. Erstwhile former, earlier known as Madras. It's written on the side seat former. Madras state. My father, Jainulabdi, underline, had neither much formal education nor much wealth. Despite these disadvantages, he possessed great innate wisdom, innate, inborn. So despite not having too much education or too much wealth, he had innate wisdom. Okay, so he was wise. And a true generosity of spirit. Generosity of spirit means he was a very
Generous.
generous person. He was very giving. He had an ideal helpmate in my mother, Ashiamma. I do not recall the exact number of people she fed every day, but I am quite certain that far more outsiders ate with us than all the members of our own family put together. So they used to feed so many other people that the number of people that they fed were more than their actual family members also.
But family members would be poor.
Maybe a joint family, so they maybe 4,
13,
maybe 12, maybe 13, 14, but the number of people they fed were much more. Normally, what will we do? If we are 4, we might feed one person, maybe one maid who comes to our house at the most. We are not going to spend the double the amount and cook the double the amount and feed people. So what kind of family did he belong to? Middle class Tamil family. Where was he from? Rameshwaram in the south. Father's name was Jainulabdi. Yes, Muslim. Was his father rich and educated? No. Mother's name? Ashia. Then, I was one of many children, a short boy with rather undistinguished looks. Undistinguished means common. He was very average looking. So a short boy with rather undistinguished looks, born to tall and handsome parents. We lived in our ancestral home, which was built in the middle of the 19th century. Ancestral means
The house that the ancestors.
yes, belonging to the previous generations. It was a fairly large pakka house made of limestone and brick on the Mosque Street in Rameshwaram. So where was this house? Mosque Street in Rameshwaram. My austere father, austere, see, simple, strict, and severe. My austere father used to avoid all inessential comforts and luxuries. However, all necessities were provided for in terms of food, medicine, and clothes. Which means what?
Basic necessities.
Yes, basic necessities. There's nothing that they were denied of. Okay, they didn't get too many luxuries in life, but at the same time, there is nothing that he was kept deprived of. Okay, like many of our own families, right? ठीक है, बहुत ज़्यादा भी नहीं है, लेकिन जो चीज़ों की हमें ज़रूरत है, हमें मिलती है. We are never deprived of anything. In fact, I would say mine was a very secure childhood, both materially and emotionally. Emotionally, in terms of the support
Love of parents.
yes, love of parents and support from family. The Second World War broke out in 1939 when I was 8 years old. So, which means which year was he born in?
1931.
1931. He was born on 15th October 1931.
And ma'am, He also used to sell when he was 8 years old newspaper at the train station.
Yes, yes. So that's also there in this. His brother was into this, so he used to help him and he used to do all that. So the Second World War broke out in 1939 when I was 8 years old. For reasons I have never been able to understand, a sudden demand for tamarind seeds erupted in the market. Tamarind seeds are what? Tamarind means? No. Haldi is turmeric. Imli. Okay? So those seeds, what color are they? Brown.
Brownish.
A dark brownish, a little bit of whatever maroon or whatever color. So that demand for those seeds suddenly erupted in the market. I used to collect the seeds and sell them to a provision shop. Provision shop is a kirana. To a provision shop on Mosque Street. Okay, now probably why this must have erupted is because these seeds, no, during क्या हो गया?
Mom is pinching me with the scale.
अरे मैं यहाँ बैठा मेरे हाथ में मैंने क्या किया और देखो बैग देखा
तू इधर बैठ.
मैं उधर हो जाता
नहीं तू उधर ही रह. तू उधर ही रह. I'm able to see you nicely over there. Sit there only. I can't teach if I'm not able to see you. Come.
बैग टच होता है मतलब स्केल लगा स्केल तो मैं लाया भी नहीं
स्केल तो लाया भी नहीं तो क्या बोलता है कुछ भी ओपन.
Mom उसके desk check कर.
कर ले आजा कर ले
कुछ नहीं करता है वो खाली उसको प्रिंट करता है. वो तो चुपचाप ध्यान दे रहा था. टैमरिन सीड्स का कलर बता रहा था. वो बोलता है प्रिंट कर रहा है. वो खुद ही ध्यान नहीं दे रहा था. Okay. So then, so these what had happened is these tamarind seeds powder, no, that was used as a sizing agent. Means it used to be roasted and powdered. Sizing agent means they used to make cloth, so they used to put it on that to make it like waterproof. So maybe because of that, the industrial revolution and people using more of machines and cloth manufacturing. So what he used to do, he used to give it sell them to the provision store. There was a provision store at Mosque. A day's collection would fetch me the princely sum of 1 anna. Princely means acha amount. Okay, during those days, 1 anna was a very good amount.
Anna
1 anna. So it's like
1 paisa
6 rupees.
4 anna was 25 paise. So 8 anna was 50 paise. So 16 annas 1 rupee. Now the 1 rupee that you use was equivalent to 16 annas.
It's written
What 6 paisa?
Anna.
An old Indian coin worth about 6 paise. No, 50 paise was 8 anna. 25 paise. Now those 25 paises don't exist also. They were tiny, small, round
I
coins.
have a coin of 25 paisa
How is it?
I have many.
Small, no?
I have many coins. Yes.
Coin collection.
but I don't have brain okay sorry
He's saying for himself.
I don't have brain
I can bring this first. I have 2 boxes full. 25, 15,
Ah.
lots of coins.
There used to be 5 paises also.
1 anna also 1 anna
1 anna he might not be having. 1 anna was like grandparents.
You have? Then it must be. I will bring the box.
Grandfather has.
Yeah, my grandmother that usually.
Okay, so here 1 anna would be like 8 annas, 1/16th of a rupee. But during those days, even the salaries were like that, no? Like a person who's earning 300 rupees also a month would be like, oh, that's a very good salary. Now 300 rupees 1 month, we go to the shop, we spend in thousands and come. So next, my brother-in-law Jalaluddin would tell me stories about the war, which I would later attempt to trace in the headlines in Dinamani. So what was Dinamani? Dinamani, see, what was it? It would have been a daily or a newspaper. So he used to give him some information and then he used to read more and gather more information about those things. Our area being isolated. Isolated means? Aloof. Aloof, separated. Isolated was completely unaffected by the war. But soon India was forced to join the Allied forces. See the Allied forces, the armies of UK, USA, Russia during the Second World War. So then India's involvement increased and something like a state of emergency was declared. The first casualty, okay, casualty means here he's saying the first problem that took place. The first casualty came in the form of the suspension of the train halt at Rameshwaram station. What was that? Suspension of the train halt. Means Rameshwaram was a station, but now the trains did not halt at that station. They did not stop at Rameshwaram. The newspapers now had to be bundled and thrown out from the moving train on the Rameshwaram road between Rameshwaram and Dhansukodi. Because it's not going to stop there. So what are the people going to do? They will throw the entire bundle of newspapers. You see the newspaper man, no, who comes. It'll all be tied together and then he distributes it individually. So that entire bundle of newspapers had to be thrown because the train didn't stop over there. So that forced my cousin Samsuddin. So underline Samsuddin, his cousin's name was Samsuddin, who distributed newspapers in Rameshwaram to look for a helping hand to catch the bundles, and as if naturally I filled the slot. I filled the slot means I was the best helping hand available to him. Samsuddin helped me on my first wages.
First, like money.
Yes,
First time.
salary. Half a century earlier, but before that, he had got that money earned by the tamarind seeds. Right? Then, half a century later, I can still feel the surge of pride in earning my own money for the first time. Every child is born with some inherited characteristics into a specific socio-economic and emotional environment. Socio-economic means your society. Socio means society, and economic means finances, the financial environment that you are in, and emotional environment. And I trained in certain ways by figures of authority. I inherited honesty and self-discipline. Underline this. Honesty and self-discipline from my father. We learn from them, no? We see them doing something and then we also want to do that. So he inherited honesty, yes, genetic. Yeah, I inherited honesty and self-discipline.
हम बिल्ली कर रहे थे मुझे ब्रेक में मेरी सारी चीजें ले ली
तुम लोग पहले दोस्ती करो फिर मेरे को बोलो बिल्ली फिर वापस उनके साथ दोस्ती करो फ्रेंड्स रहो बिल्ली कर रहे you are not of the sort to be get bullied. None of you are of the sort to be get bullied. Not even going for that. सारे एक से बढ़ के So I inherited. Why are you looking at him now? मैं नीचे देख रही हूँ उसका मतलब ये नहीं मेरे को नहीं समझ रहा है कि क्या कर रहा है तो तू क्यों देखा उसको तूने उसको देखा तो उसने देखा अभी बैठा किसके साथ था ब्रेक के बाद तू बड़ा खुश था सबसे ज्यादा अलर्ट अवेक तेरे आईज सारे पॉप आउट हो रहे थे वहां पे उसके पास में बैठ के इतना खुश था बैठने को ओके So what did I inherit from my father? Honesty and self-discipline. From my mother, I inherited faith in goodness and deep kindness. And so did my 3 brothers and sister. So which means they were 4 brothers and 1 sister. Faith in goodness and deep kindness. From my mother, underline that. I had 3 close friends in my childhood. Who were those 3? Ramananda Shastri, Aravindan, and Shiva Prakasan. These were his 3 best friends. All these boys were from Orthodox Hindu Brahmin families. He was a Muslim. As children, none of us ever felt any difference amongst ourselves because of our religious differences and upbringing. In fact, Ramananda Shastri was the son of Rakhi Lakshmana Shastri, the high priest of Rameshwaram temple. Okay, so he was a very senior priest who Ramananda Shastri's father, Rakhi Lakshmana Shastri. Later, he took over the priesthood from Rameshwaram temple from his father. Who took over the priesthood? Ramananda Shastri. Aravindan went into the business of arranging transport for visiting pilgrims. Pilgrims are who? Those people who are going to to any sacred place. So there are people who used to come here to the temple. So he started arranging transport for those pilgrims. And Shiva Prakasan, what did he do? He became a catering contractor for the southern regions. Now, during the annual
That's us. That little cat name.
तो बाद में मैं इधर आके डांस करूँ या तेरे को जो चाहिए इधर आके परफॉर्म कर लो आफ्टरवर्ड
क्यों मैं डांस क्यों करूँ
क्योंकि तेरे को है ना बहुत अटेंशन की या तो आदत है या तो जरूरत है तू लास्ट बेंच पे जो पीछे भी बैठा है तो भी यू आर डूइंग समथिंग और द अदर टू गेट अटेंशन एनीबॉडी अभी इसके साथ नहीं कर रहा है
ये मुझे देख रहा है
Ma'am is throwing things at
आई
me.
नो आई सॉ दैट
क्या देखो कुछ आया
इधर गिरा है.
अभी अभी जो फेंका उसमें आया
यहाँ पे ही है सामने
अभी जो
बताऊं तेरे को?
अभी तो मैंने ऐसे ही फेंक एक्टिंग की क्या आया तुझे
कोई गड़बड़ मत कर तेरा ज्यादा साइड ले रही हूँ उसका मतलब ये नहीं मेरे को समझना नहीं कि क्या हो रहा है हाँ so then during the annual Shri Sita Rama Kalyanam ceremony annual means once a year happening once a year during the annual Shri Sita Rama Kalyanam ceremony, our family used to arrange boats with a special platform for carrying idols of the Lord from the temple to the marriage site. Situated in the middle of the pond called Rama Tirtha, which was near our house. Events from the Ramayana and from the life of the prophet means the saint, were the bedtime stories my mother and grandmother would tell the children in our family. One day, okay, now some incident took place in his life because of him being a Muslim. One day, when I was in the 5th standard at the Rameshwaram Elementary School, which school was he in? Which standard was he in? A new teacher came to our class. I used to wear a cap which marked me as a Muslim. They wear those the cloth cap, no? So I used to wear a cap which marked me as a Muslim. And I always sat in the front row next to Ramananda Shastri. Who was Ramananda Shastri? A Brahmin, his good friend. Okay, so next to Ramananda Shastri, who wore the sacred sacred thread. So which sacred thread? Yes, the janyo that you wear. Yes. The new teacher could not stomach a Hindu priest's son sitting with a Muslim boy. Couldn't stomach means he could not tolerate it.
Why?
Because he felt really, yes, he felt that he's a Muslim, so he should not sit next to a priest son. A priest son is higher at a higher position than a Muslim, so he could not digest that. In accordance with our social ranking, as the new teacher saw it, I was asked to go and sit on the back bench. I felt very sad, and so did Ramananda Shastri. So amongst friends, you never differentiate, right? We have so many friends of different religions. We never make friends based on religion.
At 19, it happened, the religion difference.
19 means?
In the 90s.
In fact, it happens even now.
Now it's
Even recently, it happened in a village where
not
there was.
religious, cities and all.
Cities also what these in cities no now how it is, it's not amongst the common people, but it's the politicians who are creating those differences.
You are telling something about the village.
There in the village what happened is there was this student, you have water kept separately for the teacher, okay, maybe in a pot,
In
in a pot.
our school also it is there.
Is it? Okay. So what happened is there was this one student who was from a lower class who happened to drink water from that teacher's pot. So probably if it was some other student, he wouldn't have done anything. But he then beat her up very badly because she was from a lower class. So this happens even now.
I'm talking about religion, right? Hindus.
Hindu Muslims also it's happening, you know. What is that cow thing and all that?
How?
That all, you know. Don't kill the cow, and because a cow is supposed to be a religious symbol for Hindus. But all this is basically created by the politicians. Do you notice anything like that happening between y'all? नहीं कभी नहीं होता है. You love all your friends the same, irrespective of what caste or creed is from. So now when he was made to go behind, what was the friend's reaction? क्या कारपेंटर है? क्या बना रहा है?
I was just scraping out.
So you're a carpenter. So Ramananda Shastri also did not like it. He looked utterly downcast. See, downcast, sad or depressed. He looked utterly downcast as I shifted to my seat in the last row. The teacher told so he had to go. The image of him weeping when I shifted to the last row left a lasting impression on me. Lasting means a long last. Certain things impact you so much that you. And it's like, yeah, this was a sad experience, no? So you hold on to it. You will remember that for the rest of your life. So it may be something good, it may be something bad. After school, we went home and told our respective parents about the incident. Lakshmana Shastri summoned the teacher and in our presence told the teacher that he should not spread the poison of, underline this, thus should not spread the poison of social inequality and communal intolerance in the minds of innocent children. He bluntly asked the teacher to either apologize or quit the school and the island. Which island? Rameshwaram. So he said, you are not supposed to do all this. You either quit or you either apologize or you leave. Not
In
only
the island, not the school alone.
the island only.
Why he was the owner of the island?
No,
How
but
can
he
he
was a
say-
powerful person and he would, spread that bad, those feelings everywhere, no? Like one, there's that saying that one rotten mango spoils the lot.
Yes.
If you buy mangoes and
rotten
you have
apple in that.
वो अलग है rotten apple. But rotten mango का कैसे रहता है? If you have a box which has mangoes, उसमें से एक भी rotten रहेगा, it will spoil all the others. So that's why he said just look out. हाँ. तू क्या देखता है उसको बार-बार? संगत का असर बोला तो. So.
याद रखते हो ना ये तो ज़्यादा पड़ रहा है क्या ज़्यादा
Okay, not only did the teacher regret his behavior, but the strong sense of conviction, a strong opinion or belief, the strong sense of conviction Lakshmana Shastri conveyed ultimately reformed this young teacher. So it changed him, it changed his way of thinking. See in that picture, you can see Ramananda Shastri and APJ. He's wearing the sacred thread and he's wearing the.
All were Buddhas.
Brahmin
No, Brahmins, no.
बुद्धा अलग है ब्राह्मण अलग है
On the whole, the small society of Rameshwaram was very rigid in terms of segregation of different social groups. However, my science teacher, what was his name? Shiva Subramania Iyer. Shiva Subramania Iyer, though an orthodox Brahmin with a very conservative wife. Okay, conservative, orthodox mean what?
Very
Orthodox
good.
is like a person
Not
who's
good.
old thinking, and
Yes.
conservative is very protective of religion.
Yes, they are very, they are not open to other religions. Okay, that way. So, was something of a rebel. He did his best to break social barriers. Who did his best? Shiva Subramanian. He did his best to break social barriers so that people from varying backgrounds could mingle easily. Mingle means interact with each other. There shouldn't be differences. He used to spend hours with me and would say, Kala, I want you to develop so that you are on par with, underline on par with. On par means,
Being on the same level.
yes, on an, huh?
Along with.
Yes, on an equal standing with. So, I want you to develop so that you are on par with the highly educated people of the big cities. ब्रेक था ना
अभी आ
तो क्या अगली बार में नहीं अलाउ करूंगी
हाँ आ गया कैसे
जल्दी आना होगा बैठ मत जाना
सोता
सोता
है
सोएगा कौन नहीं Okay, so one day he invited me to his home for a meal. Who invited? Shiva Subramania Iyer. So one day he invited me to his home for a meal. His wife was horrified at the idea of a Muslim boy being invited to dine in her ritually pure kitchen. Pure because we are Brahmins, we don't allow any outsiders, especially a Muslim. So she was horrified at that idea of the Muslim boy coming. She refused to serve me in her kitchen. Okay, she refused to serve food. Shiva Subramania Iyer was not perturbed. Perturbed, see? No, it's not written over there. Perturbed here means not affected. It didn't affect him at all. What did he do? So Shiva Subramania Iyer was not perturbed, nor did he get angry with his wife. He did not react in any way, but instead served me with his own hands and sat down beside me to eat his meal. His wife watched us from behind the kitchen door. I wondered, you see this line now. I wondered whether she had observed any difference in the way I ate rice, drank water, or cleaned the floor after the meal. What does this line mean?
she didn't differentiate. She didn't say it differently in the normal call.
Means did she see any difference? She did not want to serve food to me in her kitchen. Now that I ate the food from her kitchen, did she see that I eat any differently? I do everything the same way. So I eat rice the same way, I drink water the same way, and I clean the food after the meal in the same way. So in what way am I different? So here he is like being a little sarcastic also that
You can suppose
possessive अलग है. Possessive is you care too much for someone. So here he is being sarcastic कि मैं किस तरह से अलग था. बस हंसेगा तो मास्क निकाल के हंसेगा चिढ़ाने के लिए. मास्क उधर रख पेन और सीधा इधर ही दे. तेरा सिर बार बार उधर क्यों जा रहा है? You're also no less. Then I was leaving his house. Whose house?
She was with
Subramania. So when I was leaving his house, Siva Subramania Iyer invited me to join him for dinner again the next weekend. Observing my hesitation, why would he hesitate, APJ?
she was discriminating.
Yes, he didn't feel welcomed over there. So why will he want to go again? So, observing my hesitation, he told me not to get upset, saying, once you decide to change the system, such problems have to be confronted. Confronted means you have to face all such problems. When I visited his house the next week, Siva Subramania Iyer's wife took me inside her kitchen and served me food with her own hands. So then she was a transformed person. Then the Second World War was over and India's freedom was imminent. Imminent means about to happen.
Like 1946.
Yes. India will be built. Indians will build their own India. Declared Gandhi. The whole country was filled with an unprecedented optimism.
When did APJ Abdul Kalam and Gandhi ever met?
My God. Would have ideas. No idea. So the whole country was unprecedented optimism means I never experienced before.
Ma'am, at that time, what was his age?
What year was he born in?
1991.
So how old will he be? Calculate.
14 years. No, not 14 years. 17. 16.
You can calculate. His maths is. Calculate.
16.
How did you calculate?
18.
How did you calculate 47 and 31?
27.
27 or what? He was
27.
8 years old when
16.
the World War was happening.
47 minus 31.
44 minus 31.
So sorry.
47 minus 31.
16.
16.
How 16? What now?
Subtraction.
How calculate and tell me.
7 minus 1, 6. 4 minus 3, 1, 16. बोलना मुंह से कुछ.
What he said.
What he said?
Yeah.
What he said?
Ma'am, 47 minus 1, 46 minus 30, 60.
Okay, another way? No other way?
Okay. 47 minus 30.
40 minus 30 का कितना होता है?
तो ये और मैंने आता है.
40 minus
10 plus 6, 7 minus 1, 6. So 60.
Easy way.
कुछ भी लॉजिक.
How would you all calculate 47 minus 31?
Calculator.
31, 41.
I was doing.
31, 41.
I will do-
42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. 31, 41. 10 हो गया.
Or then 6.
And 6.
The subtraction is the
It is subtraction. What is spelling?
Subtraction. Yes.
He's not sure of that.
What?
SUBS
ERA.
CTI. Correct. See. कोई और दिन करेंगे basics of addition. Okay, chalo. So from then the second one was okay, unprecedented optimism. I asked my father for permission to leave Rameshwaram and study at the district headquarters in Ramanathapuram.
Where is this?
Somewhere else only in the south itself. To another place where he would get better education. He told me as if thinking aloud. Who told him? His father. Abul must be his pet name. Abul, I know you have to go away to grow. Does a seagull not fly across the sun alone and without a nest? Without a nest means you have to leave your home. If you want to grow in life and you want to soar high, it will be necessary to move out away from your family and carry on with your interests. He quoted Khalil Gibran to my hesitant mother. Hesitant mother, why? Mother did not want him to go. Your children are not your children. Who said this? The father told the mother.
Ma'am, they didn't have
Phones.
Yeah.
During
That
those
time
days,
phones were very expensive.
you had to book a phone call, and then if you get
There were only telegrams.
Telegram?
telegrams.
Telephones.
No, telegrams means letter that time. So which would reach after a very long time. Communication was. Chalo, aage. So what did he say? Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. Life's longing means
life's wish.
Life's wanting.
yeah, need. Okay, like it's the world that needs them, so they are theirs. They come through you, but not from you. They come through you because you have given birth, but they don't come from you. They are not owned by you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts. For they have their own thoughts. You have your own likes and dislikes, and they have their own. So you have to give them the freedom to do that and grow in that.
So, ma'am, this is from a small part, apart from Wings of Fire.
Yes, it is an extract from
The starting of Wings of Fire.
Maybe may not be the beginning, it's an extract from that. One part of
Yeah. See this photo. Can I say this photo?
yeah. What about that?
मैं ऐसे 1 महीना था मैं ऐसे मतलब ऐसे 1 महीना था
एक महीना क्या
अच्छा.
था?
मैं ब्राह्मण हूँ ना
तो
मुझे 1
You had
महीना
lost
ऐसा
someone.
नो ब्राह्मण तो मेरा
अच्छा,
जनेऊ
you were
मेरा जनेऊ हुआ था ना
renew हुआ था. अच्छा, तभी.
मुझे 1 महीना कंपल्सरी किया था
अच्छा.
पूरा बार जाने सिर्फ एक टीका
हाँ.
और से सिर्फ धोती पहन के आना तेरा ठंडी लगता था
So after a month, me to hair grow back हो गया. Okay, write down key questions I'm giving you.
वेट का नहीं रहता.
Write key questions.
टाइम कुछ
के पास वॉच है.
के पास घड़ी है.
पूछा
अरे मेरे पास घड़ी है, मेरे पास फोन है.
फिर भी झूठ बोल रहे ऑन द तूने सुना ना ये तो थोड़ी है
Boys are crazy. तेरा नींद हो गया अभी आर्यन?
हाँ
नींद हो गया? फ्रेश ना?
सर कुछ चेक
What happened?
मैं किधर से तो आवाज आ रही है कोई नहीं डाल करेगा कोई तो फोन चला रहा है
सब लिख रहे हैं
कौन चला रहा है?
मुझे आवाज आया जैसे हम ऐसे
राम घोष के पास ही ऐसे फोन है जिसमें वैसी आवाज आती है
चल ठीक है, right?
And this is question.
Yes. Illustrate. Yes, I heard that sound now, huh? I heard that sound. Who's doing that?
कोई
My phone is not bad now.
हमारा फोन वाला
I heard. It came now, no?
My phone is तेरा
मेरे पास है ना बताओ
Okay, chalo, write this quickly.
ठीक है Three question.
Yeah.
We have to write down.
No, you can write it for homework. I'm thinking we could do these orally.
मैं भगवान ही बैठी ना नंदे वो सब मुझे देर कर रहा है
सब क्या
ये तो क्यों आ देखा
चुपचाप
डिस्टर्बिंग ना
तेरे 3 हाथ हो 10 हाथ हो तेरा हैंडराइटिंग तो बेकार है
अच्छी है ना
अच्छी है
अच्छी है
ये अच्छी है Write nicely, improve your handwriting.
First one, do we have to write about the that we got from his mother?
Yes.
मैं इसका
So, in the first one, what will you write?
Kalam's strategy was secure.
मैम मेरा
Emotionally because he had
ज़्यादा और अंदर
and he had his parents support who were
मैम मेरा
quite
और
supportive.
मैंने बहुत
Please find a school.
Writing. You can write better. ये you have to write better. तेरा समझना नहीं है.
ना मैंने करते में इसका
ये क्या लिखा but you have written nicely. Different pen.
Yes.
Right distance. So good. So here, what will you say? Kalam's childhood was a secure one, both materially and emotionally. Materially, what will you write?
he was provided good study.
One person.
He was provided with good study materials like good education. Sorry.
Study materials. हाँ.
Right. Good education.
देखो ज़्यादा हंसने को आता है. हाँ. So good education
And then he was provided good clothes, good living.
yeah.
And
So
emotionally
this part, what will you write? That they were not very rich or very well off,
Yeah,
but
we
they
did.
got all the basic requirements of
And
life.
emotionally means he got love from his parents
Yes.
and from his teachers.
Sisters, brothers.
Yeah, and the qualities that he learned from his mother and his father, the giving nature that he inherited and all.
Kind.
Yes. What is this? How did the Second World War?
Give Kalam the opportunity.
Ma'am, the train did not stop
Yes.
at the national station, so the bundle of the newspapers was thrown.
Yes.
Since since his cousin Jinamuddin
Yeah.
only had him, he had to provide papers.
He was a source of help for his cousin. What was his name?
Jinamuddin.
Jaina.
Jalaluddin.
Huh. So that was his only. That was his first.
Abul Kalam was his father, no?
Abul was his own pet name. Next one, what will you write? Cousin brother. What was Jainapuddin? What was the cousin brother's name? Shamsuddin. Shamsuddin was the cousin. So here you will. So here you'll write about Shamsuddin. Hey. And here had Kalam earned what? Earned any money before that? What will you write? Tamarind seeds.
Seeds.
Correct. Tamarind seeds. Chalo. We'll do this orally.
Ma'am, in what way, like food, we can make?
What? Food.
Foodie was in what way?
In what way had he earned money before that? Suddenly the demand for tamarind seeds had increased, so he used to sell it at a local grocery store or that. Let's do this. Keep your things in, you can keep it. And tell me the answers to this orally. First one. Ravi recently attended an interview for the selection of a computer programmer. At the interview, he was asked. He was asked what? See that? No, that first part where the interviewer is saying. So why do you want to be a computer programmer? So he was asked why he wanted to be a computer programmer. You all will have questions of this type. Then to this question he replied that he wanted to change his job because
he had interest.
I have always been interested in computers, right?
Yes.
So because how will you change that? He had always been interested in computers. When the interviewer asked him dash, he replied. So what does the interviewer ask him then? Do you have any experience? So when the interviewer asked him if he had any experience, he replied that he said no, but I am a fast learner. So he replied that he didn't. मैं इधर भी देखती हूँ ना तो भी इधर का समझ में ओके ज्यादा शान पट्टी बनते so he said that he didn't but he was a fast learner. Finally the interviewer wanted to know what does he want to know, what kind of a computer do you use?
Ravi told that he uses Mac.
No, but what will you write there? Finally the interviewer wanted to know, change it to reported speech. What kind of a computer
did Ravi
he used?
He used.
Ravi replied that he could use a Mac and he also used Windows 10 once in the past. Who replied the year? Then it's over. Interviewer seemed to be pleased with this answer.
That's
Chalo, you all can leave. Next class, what do you all want to do?
Ma'am, that one chapter is there after my childhood.
Which chapter? Poem?
That is coming.
Okay, fine. So we do that poem then.